Can you talk about when they first met, the Mercers, Robert and Rebecca Mercer, first met Andrew Breitbart, and what that progression was and how they came to be linked up with Bannon?
Well, sure. The Mercer family, Robert and his daughter Rebecca, met Andrew Breitbart back, I think it was late 2011 or early 2012, speaking at a conference of the Club for Growth, another right-wing group, and they were completely taken with Andrew Breitbart. He was pretty much the opposite kind of character from Bob Mercer. Breitbart was outspoken and gleefully provocative and loved to offend people and use vulgar language just to catch their attention. And you've got this kind of tight-lipped hedge fund man from the far right who just fell for Breitbart big time. And what he was captivated by, I think, was Breitbart's vision, which was he said conservatives can never win until we basically take on the mainstream media and build up our own source of information. He was talking about declaring information warfare in this country on fact-based reporting and substituting it with their own vision. And what he needed, Breitbart at that point, was money. He needed money to set up Breitbart News, which was only just sort of a couple of bloggers at that point.
And talk about Breitbart News, about what the alt-right represented, whether we're talking about anti-Semitism or white supremacy, and why they were attracted to this.
Well, I mean, it changed. What happened was, it started as a Andrew Breitbart had helped the Huffington Post get set up, and his idea was that he was going to launch the Huffington Post of the right. And so he was setting it up, and his very close friend was Steve Bannon, and Bannon had been in investment banking. So Bannon got the Mercers to put $10 million into turning this venture into something that was really going to pack a punch. And they were just about to launch it in a big way. They were a few days away from it when Andrew Breitbart died. That was in March of 2012. He was only 43, and he had a sudden massive heart attack. And so this operation was just about to go big. It was leaderless, and that's when Steve Bannon stepped in and became the head of Breitbart News. And in Bannon's hands, it became a force of economic nationalism and, in some people's view, white supremacism. It ran, a regular feature on black crime. It hosted and pretty much launched the career of Milo Yiannopoulos, who's sort of infamous for his kind of juvenile attacks on women and immigrants and God knows what. It became as Bannon had said, a platform for the alt-right, meaning the alternative to the old right, a new right that was far more angry and aggressive about others, people who were not just kind of the white sort of conservatives like themselves.
So they made a $10 million investment in Breitbart. They owned it, co-owned it.
They became the sponsors really behind it. And it's interesting to me that one of the things I learned was that Rebecca Mercer, this heiress who's had no experience in politics, is so immersed in running Breitbart News at this point. I mean, her family is the big money behind it, that she reads every story, I'm told, and fly-specs, typos and, grammar and all that kind of thing. I mean, there is a force behind Breitbart News that people don't realize, and it's the Mercer family. Anyway, it became very important increasingly on the fringe of conservative politics because it pushed the conservatives in this country towards this economic nationalism, nativism, anti-immigration, harsh borders, anti-free trade, protectionist, and it spoke the language of populism, but right-wing populism.